Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we, take your sources, could be articles, research, even personal notes, and really pull out the key insights. Think of it as getting you up to speed, but with maybe some surprising facts, maybe a little humor too. Today, we're heading somewhere different, into a place where the building itself seems to hold secrets. And while some secrets are much darker than just history, they feel almost predatory. Our focus for this deep dive, Hotel Eloria. Try and picture it. Used to be grand, probably beautiful, but now it's just silent. Sitting up in the hills of Himachal, kind of hauntingly quiet. The locals, well, they don't talk about her much, and when they do, it's quiet. They call it the Suicide Hotel. Not because it was busy, actually the opposite. It hasn't had guests for over a decade, not since the suicide started. And our source material here is really unique. It's a very personal account, almost like a confession from someone who took her freelance job, just documenting the inside of the hotel, taking photos. Seems simple enough. They thought it was just a job, empty rooms, peeling paint. But they found something else. Something disturbingly alive.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to really unpack this harrowing story, go through the narrator's recorded experiences, step by chilling step. And we want to understand what really happened inside those walls. It's not just about ghost stories, is it? We're trying to get at the implications of this unique and frankly, really malevolent kind of haunting.
Yeah.
It seems like something that doesn't just, linger. It actively wants something. So this account, this personal story, it's our main source. It's our window into this whole chilling phenomenon at Hotel Loria.
Yeah.
And the very active nature of whatever is there.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Our narrator arrives. And the description. It just hits you. Frozen in time. Can you picture that? Walls peeling. Okay. But the chandeliers are still hanging. The rooms look like nobody's touched them in 10 years. But there's no life, no warmth.
Yeah, melancholic is a good word. Decay right from the start. But it's more than just what it looked like. They talked about this immediate feeling, almost physical. The air had this weight to it. And then this line, like grief soaked into the wallpaper.
Wow.
That phrase is powerful, isn't it? Grief soaked into the wallpaper. It tells you immediately this isn't just an old, dusty building. There's a profound sense of foreboding there, even before anything, overtly supernatural happens. In paranormal studies, and sometimes even in architecture, people talk about this idea of place memory or the imprint of trauma on a location. It suggests it's not just about ghosts in the building, but maybe the building itself holding on to that suffering, like an energetic residue, almost like the sorrow is coming from the structure. And the physical decay you mentioned, the peeling paint, the stillness, it perfectly mirrors that deeper unseen rot, doesn't it? It sets this intense psychological stage, like the building itself is warning you.
And right into that atmosphere walks Rattan, the caretaker, an old man. Seems like a simple thing, handing over keys, practical stuff. But then he gives this warning. Straight up, no messing around. Don't stay past midnight. They come then. Just like that.
Yeah, and that kind of warning from someone like Rattan is so significant in these narratives. It's the local knowledge, right? Often dismissed as superstition, but it usually comes from generations of observation. They know the place, and the vagueness is terrifying. They come then. Who are they? Animals, thieves, or something else. It lets your own imagination run wild, which is often worse.
Exactly. And our narrator, initially they kind of brushed it off. I thought he meant animals or thieves or maybe ghosts, but I wasn't the superstitious type. Not yet.
That not yet. That's the key, isn't it? It flags that a shift is coming. From rational skepticism to unwilling belief. It's the moment they cross the threshold, psychologically speaking, into the hotel's reality.
So they start the work, taking photos, documenting, but one thing stands out immediately. Room 313. They were explicitly told, do not go in room 313. And it looked different, too. The door was painted red, unlike the others. The narrator even says, it looked angry. That's quite a description for a door. And near it, the hallway near it was colder. You just know instantly this room is important. It's shouting, look at me!
Oh, absolutely. The red door symbolism is huge. Red can mean passion, sure, but more often, danger, blood, a warning. A boundary, don't cross this line. Sometimes red doors are meant to ward off evil, but here, it feels like the warning is the evil. Or maybe it's trying to contain something barely held back.
Yeah, containment feels right.
And that temperature drop,
Yeah.
that's a classic sign, isn't it?
Oh.
In paranormal investigation, it's often linked to an energy drain, like something non-physical is pulling heat from the air to manifest. It's a real measurable change, a physical clue that something unnatural is concentrated right there. So the big question is, why this room? What makes 313 the focal point, the angry epicenter?
And as they're working, trying to ignore this angry red door, things start happening. Subtle at first. With the photos, they're trying to get clean shots, for the investor, document the decay, but every photo I took came out distorted, like someone was standing in the shot with me. Descriptions like blurry faces, shadow hands. It's like
Okay.
the camera is seeing things they can't or won't.
Right. And those specific distortions, blurry faces, shadow hands, they're really interesting. It suggests something not quite fully formed, maybe existing just outside our normal perception, but solid enough energetically to mess with the camera. Some researchers might call it ectoplasmic residue or an energy imprint. The key thing is, it's on the photos. It's not just a feeling or a glimpse. It's becoming recordable evidence within the story. That makes it way more unsettling than just seeing something fleeting. It feels like the presence is deliberately intrusive, making itself known, almost photobombing with menace.
Exactly. And then it moves from visual stuff to sound. And then the whispers began. At first, just soft, unintelligible murmurs, like humming behind the walls. And the narrator does what we'd all probably do, right? Tries to rationalize it. Old building, pipes, wind, maybe just imagining things.
Yeah, the mind tries so hard to find a normal explanation, and those faint, unintelligible sounds are psychologically really effective. They prey on that uncertainty, make you doubt your own senses. Classic buildup of dread. But then comes the escalation. The narrator records voice notes, maybe to prove they are imagining it. But when they play it back, they hear it clearly. A specific whisper. Jump, chilling, just jump. Utterly chilling. Because that's not random noise anymore, is it? That's a direct, specific, and incredibly malevolent command. It shifts the whole thing. It's not just a sad, haunted place anymore. It's actively hostile, predatory, targeting the narrator directly, pushing them towards what the hotel is infamous for. This is where you really start to see the hotel's true intention. It's hunting. And it's just issued a horrifying invitation.
So the atmosphere is thick with dread. The photos are weird. The whispers are telling them to jump, and it's getting late, nearly midnight. That warning from Rattan must be ringing in their ears. They come then. They know they should leave. Everything logical says, get out now. But they don't. They say they were drawn to the red door, like, couldn't help it. Something about it I can't explain. My feet moved without thinking. I unlocked it.
That feeling of being drawn, of compulsion, that's terrifying. It really speaks to the power of this place. Was it just psychological suggestion, fear and curiosity, or something more direct? Psychic manipulation, the way they describe it, my feet moved without thinking, suggests their own will was just overridden, hijacked. It implies the hotel isn't just passively waiting, it's actively pulling people in, manipulating them. It moves the narrator from being an observer to being a participant, even against their will. It really highlights this active, almost sentient quality of the hotel. It's not just haunted, it's ensnaring.
And they get inside room 313, and despite the look of everything being untouched, preserved, there's immediate evidence of violence, scratch marks on the floor. The description is stark, as if someone had been dragged resisting. That just cuts through the eerie quiet, doesn't it? A sign of a struggle.
A huge sign. Those scratch marks completely undermine the whole suicide narrative, don't they? Suicides, however tragic, don't usually involve being dragged, resisting. This points to force, violence, maybe abduction, a failed escape. It raises that awful question, who was dragged and what dragged them? Suddenly, room 313 isn't just a place of death, it's a potential crime scene, a place where people are possibly taken, not just where they chose to end things. It suggests a pattern, a predator.
And boom, right after noticing the scratches, suddenly the door slams shut behind me. Classic horror move, but effective. Trapped. Then, the apparition. A woman standing at the window, dressed in a tattered white gown, facing away from me. Facing away, that slow build, but the detail that makes it truly skin-crawling. She wasn't floating or translucent. She looked real.
Yeah, the door slamming. That confirms the entrapment. No going back now. And the realism of the apparition is key. It blurs that line, makes the threat feel so much more immediate, more visceral. Not just a spooky ghost, but someone there. Facing away builds that awful suspense. What will she look like? And then she turns. Eyes hollow, lips cracked open, nightmare fuel. And her words, he told me to jump. That is just profound. Who is he? Suddenly there's another layer, a manipulator behind the scenes, an intelligence directing this.
It suggests the woman herself was a victim, manipulated into it.
Exactly. It reframes her not just as a ghost, but as evidence of this deeper, controlling malevolence. The hotel, or this he, doesn't just haunt, it directs. It controls. It's deeply insidious.
And before the narrator can even really react to that, the woman acts, runs through the window and just vanished midair. Poof.
And that confirms her spectral nature, despite looking so real. It's a demonstration, isn't it? Showing the narrator how easily the hotel can manifest things and then make them disappear. And it replays the act of jumping, the very thing linked to the hotel's history, the very thing the whispers urged. It's like a horrible preview, a warning, or maybe an instruction.
Planting the ATF.
Precisely. Implanting the horror, showing them the expected outcome. It connects her fate directly to the whispers, and maybe to the narrator's intended fate, too.
Just brutal psychological warfare. And then maybe the worst part. After the woman vanishes, the narrator sees it. A notebook on the nightstand. Old, moldy, but inside. Filled with names, dates. Every person who had died in that room, it's a ledger and the details. Some names had been scratched off. Others were freshly written, like someone's keeping score. And the final blow. And the last name. Mine.
Oh, God. That notebook. It changes everything again, doesn't it? It's not just random tragedy. It's systematic. A collection. Like the hotel is keeping meticulous records of its acquisitions. It implies a cold, calculating intelligence. An accountant of souls. And those scratched off names. What does that mean? Did they fulfill the invitation, or did they somehow escape and get removed from the list? Either way, it's disturbing.
Failed invitations. Or completed ones.
Yeah.
Creepy.
And the narrator's name being last, that pulls them right into the center of it. It's no longer about observing the past. It's about their immediate, terrifying future. The invitation was personal. The hotel selected them. It's monstrously deliberate.
So naturally, absolute panic sets in. Seeing your name in that book, survival mode kicks in, grab the bag, run. But the hotel fights back. It doesn't want to let them go. Every hallway twisted into another. I couldn't find the exit. Just endless doors. The architecture itself becomes the enemy. And this detail.
In mirrors that didn't reflect me. What does that even mean? That idea of the hotel actively changing, twisting space, that's terrifying. It means the whole building is complicit, alive. It can literally reshape reality to keep you trapped. It's not just room 313. The entire structure is the monster. And the mirrors, wow, that's symbolically huge. Losing your reflection doesn't mean losing yourself. Your identity being erased by the hotel's influence. Or is the hotel actively denying their reality, saying, you don't exist here anymore except as one of mine? It suggests they're already being assimilated, becoming part of the hotel's spectral reality, a loss of self. Chilling.
And while they're lost in this maze, another vision. Horrific. Then I saw a man hanging by the neck in the lobby, eyes wide open, staring at me. And he speaks. Or his mouth moves anyway. His mouth moved. You belong here now.
Oof. That concerns it, doesn't it? The idea of permanent residence, trapped souls. It's showing the narrator exactly what staying forever looks like. And that line, you belong here now. It's a direct claim, ownership, finality. The hotel isn't just suggesting, it's declaring. Connects right back to that notebook. You're on the list. You're one of us now. There's no escape plan for you.
It seems utterly hopeless. Endless corridors, no reflection, hanging apparitions claiming you, but then rescue. Unexpected. Rattan, the caretaker again. He somehow finds them, pulled me out from the darkness. And his first question says it all. Knowing, tired. Did you go into 313? Like he knew they would. Or feared they would. And then he tells them the truth, the thing that ties it all together.
Rattan is so vital here. He's the grounding element, the one who understands. His intervention feels almost like a miracle in that context. But his tiredness, it suggests he's seen this before. Maybe he tried to save others, maybe failed. His explanation is the absolute core of it all. That room takes what it wants. That phrasing. The room itself has agency. It takes, you're lucky, most don't make it out, confirming the lethality. And then the bombshell that reframes everything. They weren't suicides, he whispered. They were invitations.
Invitations, such a polite word for something so horrifying. Invitations to what?
To stay. Forever. That's the answer.
Yeah.
And it just flips the whole narrative. It's not about despair leading to self-destruction. It's about a predatory entity forcing entrapment, coercing souls. The hotel isn't just haunted, it's a hunter.
Yeah.
It actively recruits its residents. That redefines every death associated with the place. They weren't victims of sadness. They were victims of the hotel itself.
So they get out, thanks to Rattan. The narrator says, I left the next morning, never to return. You would, wouldn't you? Just run and don't look back. Put miles between you and that place.
Absolutely. That's the instinct. Flee. But the really deep horror stories, the ones that stick with you, the horror doesn't always stay behind when you leave the building. And the source material makes it clear. For this narrator, escaping the physical hotel wasn't the end of it. The hotel's reach, that invitation, it followed them like a shadow you can't shake.
Which is maybe the most terrifying part. It moves from a physical place to inside your head. The narrator says, even now, but some nights I still hear the whispers. And they're specific, not just echoes. taunting messages. Jump, come back, you forgot your room, like a phone call from hell.
Exactly. Those aren't just PTSD symptoms or memories. The specificity, the commands, it suggests the hotel is still actively trying, still calling them back, still trying to enforce that invitation remotely. And you forgot your room. That implies ownership, doesn't it? Like, you belong to me, you just wandered off, time to come home.
It's a constant psychological pull, attacking their sanity, their sense of safety. The tether is still there. And then there's the physical aspect, which is just, wow. And sometimes, when I wake up, I'm standing by the window. They wake up already standing there.
Yeah, that's profoundly disturbing. What does it mean when something external can compel your physical body like that, even miles away, even while you sleep? It strongly suggests the invitation wasn't just to die at the hotel, but to join its collection, to become one of those figures that the hanging man, the woman by the window, the hotel is still trying to complete the process, still trying to make them fulfill that final act, jump, even if it's from their own window now. That's like a parasitic influence, trying to manifest its will through them. They escape the building, but maybe not the entity itself.
So the question lingers, can you ever really decline that invitation if it follows you?
That's the terrifying implication, isn't it? Yeah. The resistance might only be temporary. What happens when that resistance finally wears down?
What a story. We went from this eerie, abandoned hotel, Hotel Eloria, seemingly just full of sad memories, to realizing it's this active, malevolent thing. We saw the signs pile up, the weird photos, the whispers telling them to jump, that horrifying notebook in room 313 with their name in it, from subtle feelings to direct commands to, well, physical compulsion.
And the absolute key takeaway, thanks to Rattan, was shifting from thinking suicides to understanding invitations. Forced invitations to stay forever. That's what makes this case so chilling. A location with a will of its own. Actively seeking, claiming, collecting souls. It's not just haunted, it's a predator disguised as architecture.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If a place like that can take what it wants, like Rattan said, and if its influence, its invitation follows you home, how do you ever truly get away? How do you escape something that refuses to let you decline? What does that mean for your own will, your own mind, when a place has decided you belong to it and just won't?